welcome to a Fiberific live crafting chat. It has been a day, a week, an interesting time here at Fiberific HQ. I want to say thank you to everybody who jumped in the chat. I saw the chat was popping off early this morning. So good to see you all in there chatting with each other. Kathy has managed to get in with the first comment. So thank you to that, Kathy. I am just having a quick read of the chat here before I get started with my tale of woe. Tale of woe that is now amusing, not so amusing as it was happening. So, you know, we'll get into that. We'll get into it. Lots of discussion in here. Daiwan, it's been ages since I've seen you in the chat. So you're wondering what you should work on. I mean, I can't help with that. You know what I'm like. I'm like, what 14 projects should I be doing? No, I'm going to cast on something new. So, you know, that's how it is. Whoops. And then just as the live stream is about to happen, one of the clamps that clamps some stuff to the table just slid right off. So, like, there's something hanging on precariously. It's pretty important, actually. I might just move it just to make sure it does stay. Because it's holding my phone to the window because we are stuck on 5G again today, everybody. Still don't have a new cord. I bought one. I bought a new cord. It was in feet, coming from an Aussie seller to an Aussie home, measured in feet. So it's a good 8 meters too short. So that's not going to help us any. It made it from the shack to the house, but nowhere near the router. Nowhere near the router. Okay, so yesterday, I was out here working away, doing what I do. My family decided to, I don't know exactly what happened. It was just a maelstrom of noise. But something you need to understand is when it rains here, my whole yard turns into this mushy quagmire, especially the path from the sliding door to my door here. And it is just dreadful. So I've actually been going through a different door in the house so I don't have to walk along this particularly smushy bit of wetness. I made the mistake of walking through it the other day and took a step, went bloop into it, and it just went mud all the way up my leg, up my pants, everything. It was terrible. I pretty well get a moat. That's right, Game Widows. So my family ignored that and they came through the quagmire into the shack. So they're covered in mud. They didn't get very far in before I'm like, what are you doing? Get out. Next thing you know, Tim's like laughing like, ha ha ha, and Louis too. And I'm like, get him, don't let him in. He will just run in and jump up here onto the chair. And I had all stuff laid out there. I was doing a little bit of cricket stuff yesterday. So I had all these clean t-shirts that I was just like putting patterns and stuff onto were all laid out on the chair. And then Louis came in and did exactly what I said he was going to do. And so all these shirts have got muddy splush prints across them. So I was unhappy, to say the least. I'm yelling at him, get out, I told you not to come in, rah, like I've lost my cool because I'm going to have to rewash these shirts before I can do anything with them. Anyway, so they're like, oh, sorry, and they leave and I pull the door closed and I'm grumpy. Now, I didn't slam the door. I probably would have, but the windows are all closed. So you guys know the deal. When you go to slam a door and then that vacuum thing happens and you kind of got to just tug it. Well, that's what I did. I just pulled the door closed. Oh, hello. Bang things. A little while later, Tim comes out with a peace offering of some towels to clean up the mess. Except he couldn't get the door open. And I was like, stop being silly. You've slid the bar over. And he's like, I haven't. It's stuck. And I'm like, couldn't turn the knob inside. The knob inside was stuck. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, please don't mess around with me. There is no way out of this shack except through the door because all the windows have bars. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God. So he's like trying to turn it and turn it and turn it. And so I'm trapped. I'm literally trapped in the shack. I kind of vacuum seal myself. I did open a window at that point to talk to people like, oh, have you tried this? I couldn't even get my eye out enough to see. You know, and I was just stuck in here, and I was just like, I'm stuck in here. I can't get out. And it was like 5 o'clock. So I'm like quickly ringing the company that I hire it from, and I'm like, what do we do? And the lady's like, there's nobody here. We all finish at 4. She goes, I just happen to be here. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, okay. You know, she gave me a few suggestions to try. We couldn't get them to work. We got the neighbor over. He couldn't get it open. We ended up having to call an after hours locksmith. And I'm just like, oh my God. After hours, again, every time we need a locksmith, it's always after hours. And our locals, it's just like straight up, it's $180 just to come out because it's outside of hours. And so I'm sort of sitting here like, Tim's passing me cups of tea through the window, and I'm like, I don't think I want too many drinks because I can't get out. But, you know, I look at it, and there's worse places to get locked into. I'm pretty well, you know, I've got the couch, I've got my big screen. I had my 5G, I could watch movies. I had some other shirts there that didn't get dogged. So I finished what I was doing on those while I waited for the blacksmith, and I was getting to the pointy end of I'd been in here for a while, and my bladder was like, you don't have anything toilet shaped, do you? But I knew it, you know, it was just like, you know, when you don't, like when you know it's just your bladder being mean, like, yeah, like you don't really need to go, but you've got to start thinking about this stuff. And I'm like, okay, no more tea, no more water, just in case, because we had no idea when the locksmith was coming. Just said he was coming. And I was just like, oh gosh. So I'm sort of just chilling, trying to be calm, like, because it's like, it wasn't Tim and Abby's fault. They didn't do anything to the door. They just annoyed me and made they made all the floor slippery and muddy. But they didn't do anything to the door. And I didn't I didn't slam the door because it wasn't physically possible to slam the door. Anyway, a little while later, the locksmith arrives. It wasn't really that long. I got onto the locksmith at about sort of 5-ish, just after. I called Coates at 5, locksmith a little after that, because we tried a few things and we didn't want to force it. And so then I have to so then I called him, I don't know, I probably called it about 20 past 5, just 5:15 around there. And he was here by 6. So really it wasn't that long a wait. It just felt long when it's just like, you know, you can't leave your 6 by 3 meter shed. You are trapped. Tim and Abby are talking about, if we put your dinner into a container, we can turn it and slide it through the bars. And I'm like, I don't want to have dinner in here. Anyway, so, because that's the thing, the gap between the bars is only like this much. There's only a narrow gap between all the bars. So anyway, he comes out and he's like handing me a screwdriver because the screw side of the doorknob was on this side. So I'm like undoing all the screws and talking to him through the wall. Like, you know, it was very weird. And anyway, we get the handles off, and he was just expecting to be able to just sort of pull out a thing and off we go. Well, no, that's not what happened. He was just like, that's jammed in there. That's broken off in there. And I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm still stuck in here? And he's like, for now. I keep saying basically they were resigned to you staying there forever. They pretty well were, I think. So he's had to go off and come back, and he's trying to get the little, you know, the bit that goes from your door handle into the actual plate. that bit's still stuck, which means we couldn't open the door. And he's just like, I've never seen a lock do this before. And I'm just like, that's not encouraging. That's not encouraging. I'm trapped in here. I'm trapped in here with all my favourite things and a couch and blankets, and Tim and Abby I could have slept out here, no problems, you know. It was just trashed. Anyway, he finally got it out and he's opened it up, and he was just like, in all my years, I have never seen one of these door handles do that. I'm like, that's great. So, no, well, that Zywinch, we couldn't take the hinges off because it's designed so the door can't have its hinges removed. It's kind of like a security feature. The hinges are inside a thing, so you can't get to them. A new form of home detention. Yes. Do I feel special that he had never seen it? No. I don't feel special at all. It has made me look at the shack in a different way. I nearly live streamed from in the house because I have to shut the door while I live stream just so that I don't have to yell at chickens and things like that. And so I was a bit like, I don't know if I actually want to shut the door just in case. So yeah, it was so he came out, he replaced the door handles, and he's got a story to tell. I have got a story to tell. Look, storytellings. All the weird stuff happens to you. I mean, not all of the weird stuff, but a goodly portion of it seems to. So yeah, and you know the thing was, right, I didn't even get a chance to sit on the couch and put my feet up and throw like Disney on or something. I was just doing things and like trying to keep my mind off the fact I was trapped. Because yeah, it wasn't my greatest form or feeling or I mean, I had the cricket, computers, like I had technology and yarn. I mean, I don't have any of my projects in here, but I'm sure I could have started something. Have you installed a discrete bucket in the net? I have not, actually. That's an excellent point. I don't really want to, I don't want one. I don't want it to ever happen again. I don't want to ever have to need that sort of thing. But Game Widows, you're definitely onto something there. So have you guys ever had like anything like that happen to you? Like where you've had to sort of just sit there and wait for someone else to sort it out for you? And you're just kind of like, I'll just wait right here, shall I? So yeah, look, I don't even know how I feel about it. Like yesterday I was annoyed and angry, and I just was just like, I don't even know what to think about it. Truth be told, I'm just like, I don't know. Game Widows has been stuck in a lift. Oh, see, that would scare me more. I'm a bit afraid of lifts. Oh no, my small human locked me out when she was 3. Oh, I've been very, very, very lucky in that regard. I'm constantly saving the kids from the toilet. The handle falls off that door all of the time. Far out. The bucket for leaks. I love that Friday ketchup. I love it. That's Resident Evil right there. Oh, no one else is home. Oh my gosh. How do you explain? And can they even reach the handle? Like, that's the advantage that all our door handles are very low in our house. And so Abby could always reach them. But, oh my gosh. That's terrifying. And because we've got crim safe on all our windows, we can't, like, just climb in. I locked Maddie and myself out once, but he was small enough to go through the pet door and open the garage. Oh my gosh. Grace locked me out when she was 2, had to wait for the real estates for 2 hours. In the meantime, Grace was waving and laughing at me through the sliding door. Oh my gosh. Oh, Sally, I had a lift at a workplace that I worked at that did that. I did the stairs. I didn't do the lifts, and this was obviously a long time ago when I could do the stairs. So unless I had to carry a lot of stuff, which wasn't that often, I went to stairs, and we were on the 8th floor. That's how much I did not like that lift. I'm like, I'm just gonna go up the stairs, and people would look at me like, what? I'm like, I really don't like that lift, and I would do the stairs. But the number of times people got stuck in that lift, or it did that whole like jerk, and then up it goes, and you just be like, oh no, this is the day. Good morning, Deb. Oh gosh, lucky yours came back and opened the door. That definitely sounds like Grace, doesn't it? Oh no, it wasn't a fun time yesterday. It was not a fun time. I mean, I had fun doing the craft that I was doing, and catching up on some other bits of paperwork, which is not so fun, but I was here. I was thankful it wasn't one of the ancient lifts that had the driver at Maya. Oh, I remember when lifts had lift operators. Or it sounds like it's struggling. I know. I was just thinking of things that sound like they're struggling. My car is one of those that because its timing chain is starting to go, and so I'm not sure if everybody here knows. Tim had a car accident a little while ago. I would say a month off the top of my head. I can't remember how long. It feels like it's been a month. It may not have been. The car, Tim and everyone involved were perfectly okay. Tim got a bruise, but both cars were written off. Those little Golfs, they're like little tanks. When they hit things, they go smush. Anyway, so we had to go car shopping, and I've been researching cars and looking at cars, and the reason I was doing that was because it was actually my year to get a new car. So Tim's car was supposed to last another few years yet. It was my turn. My car's 10 years old. And we were noticing that, a couple of things are starting to go wrong with it. When cars get to that age, and then it's the big jobs that have to happen. Well, we just found out we have to get the timing chain replaced, which is apparently about a $3,000 job. But it's at the stage it's at now, it's not an urgent job. We've got a bit of time to save up for that, which is good. But then Tim went and, smushed his car. And so we've had to sort of have a stop and a rethink and a plan. And so we went car shopping, and we were trying out all different cars, and we were tossing up whether or not it was a car for him or a car for me. And eventually a womaned up and said, no, this is my car. It's not fair. It's not fair. It was my turn for a car. So I was a bit more picky, and we had to go up a size because Tim likes to get the little tiny hatches, and I can't do the low to the ground cars because my legs just go, no, not doing it. You can just stay in the car forever now. It can be like a prison, but you can wind the windows down. And so we've gone car shopping. We've looked at so many cars, and so many places don't have any new cars. They've got one for you to look at. You can't test drive it, but you can look at it. And there's one car yard in particular, who I won't name, that honestly expected us to order a car without test driving it. And so we were just like, no. They're like, you can sit in it, you just can't go for a test drive. And we were just like, no. We're not buying a car without at least having a little drive in it. Anyway, so it reminded me a little bit of of what happened when we initially were buying the X-Trail 10 years ago. And that was around the time that big, it was the nuclear power plant in Japan that went boof. And so a lot of cars that came out of Japan were slowed down. And so we were looking for a car, and back then we needed it by July because I wanted it in time for Bendigo. And they couldn't give us one. Like, we'd ordered it, and they've come back with a delivery date of like August. And this was in like May. We were like, no. And so we went and ordered the Nissan, and we got it within the time frame we needed. But we'd originally gone to the Nissan, and the first Nissan sales guy we were talking to, this was 10 years ago, okay, so he wasn't going to let us test drive without us putting down a deposit on a car. And we were just like, it was the same conversation. We were like, no, we're not buying a car until we could test drive it. Anyway, we went back to Nissan after the other, like after the I think it was the bits are missing. We were looking at an Outlander as well. We were tossing up between X-Trail and Outlander back then. And so, yeah, so we went back, we cancelled that order. We went back to Nissan, we made sure we got a different sales guy. We're like looking around. And then we ordered it and had a really good experience with Nissan after that. And it was like the same sort of feeling. It's like every time we want to buy a car or something like that, something like catastrophic, like Fukushima, thank you. Fukushima happened then. COVID's happened now, which has slowed down a lot of production in a lot of areas, not just cars, but a lot of manufacturing. I know even companies like Margicraft have got weights on their bobbins because of one little part they can't get their hands on and they need it, you know? And so all these like little things are being held up and slowed down as different countries are having to shut down and start back up and shut back down and start back up. And so, yeah, it's just been insanity. It's been insanity. Anyway, this week, Saturday, we went, and I was just like, honey, I want to look at a Mazda. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yes, I want to look at one. I'm not married to one. I just want to sit in it and test drive one if we can. Well, I have to say the Mazda dealers here at Springwood, I want to say Springwood, they were phenomenal. They were just so nice. And they had cars in the lot for sale, more cars coming. They had like stock coming through, not everything, but they had a bit of stock coming through. And anyway, so we've had a look and we've test driven a few cars, and he was just like, the guy, we were like, just test drive this other one, you'll like it too. And we were like, really? And he's like, yeah, go for a test drive in it, and then you can compare which ones you like. And so we ordered a Mazda. We had a really good experience with the sales guy. He gave us a good deal, and I've got a little Mazda CX-30 in red. It's a red one that we'll be picking up very soon. Hopefully tomorrow. So, that 2nd of February, Spanish Chick, is that when Tim's car crash was? That doesn't sound right. That sounds even longer ago than I thought it was. Daiwench says that so Daiwench's husband and my husband both had car accidents on the same day, and his car won't be fixed by April. Wow. Stacey says the car yards at Boaters are all very empty at the moment. Yep. Daiwench said we had car sales people come out to our to let us test drive. Oh yeah, they brought them out to you. Friday Ketchup says that she has a friend who works in the Honda plant in Alabama, and they worked for the entire COVID. Oh my gosh. Wow. I missed what Talia says. Someone was very nice. Hang on. Oh, they were very nice. They were unbelievable. The sales rep we spoke to, he was just so nice, honestly. He didn't feel like he was a sales rep. He didn't do the saley, thing. And when I just went, I like this car, what's the price on this car, and when can we have it? And he was just like, okay, well, let's slow down and come inside, we're out of the heat, and we'll have a cold drink of water, and we'll see. And we'll see what she says. We'll see, what we can do. And I was just like, this could either be bad or good. And no, he just wanted us in out of the heat. I think he was also overheated. And we had a conversation, and he just laid out all the facts. And he was just like, I'm going to go over here. You guys can have a good talk. And, if you want another test drive to have a think about it again, I don't want you making decisions fast. It's not worth it. And we were just like, Because every other sales rep is, you've got to decide now. You need to decide right now, right this second. And he was just like, it's a big decision. Have a good think. Come back another day even if you want. We were just like, what? Our car lease was due to end last month. I think they were relieved we extended instead of upgrading. Yeah, I bet they were. I bet they were. Sally says Mum's got a CX-3 in red and she loves it. Mine's basically a CX-3 but taller. And it's got a couple of other little things, but it's very similar to a CX-3. So, obviously, CX-30 is much smaller than an X-Trail. Which means that I'll still need to, like, borrow the X-Trail for, like, Bendigo and anywhere where the stall needs to be taken, because ain't no way it's gonna fit in the CX-30. The CX-30 is a decent size. Like, I think it's still, like, seats down, I think it's still, like, 1,100 or 1,200 litres of space that you can fill, and the X-Trail with the seats down is 1,400 or 1,500. But it's narrower, if that makes sense. So it's like in the X-Trail, I could lay it flatter and not fill to the top and be able to see through the back. This one I would have to fill. We don't have a tow bar on this one. This one doesn't, it doesn't really, the reviews I read on it we went with the base engine, and unless you went up an engine size, it really can't do towing very well. So this one does not do towing. John says the CX-5 drives like a tank. Yeah, she can't really get into a taller car. She struggles to get into the CX-5, which is taller. Yeah. Well, I mean, the X-Trail's a 4-cylinder, and it has no problems. But it's also been designed in such a way that it's meant to do it. Whereas these small little cars, they're not designed for it. They don't have the oomph. They don't have the torque. But I personally don't like driving with a trailer at all. Like, I don't drive with a trailer. If we need to use a trailer, Tim's driving. So yeah. So, but yeah, so we have a new car coming. I was let out of the shed. So woohoo! It's been a big week. It's been a big week. I didn't really bring any craft out today because I didn't sleep very well last night. Today is Tim's birthday as well, everybody. So he's inside having his second last day working from home because he has to go back into the office on Monday. We had Abby made breakfast. So she got up really early, which was shocking. When I wake up and hear Abby's voice straight up, that's like, what? That doesn't happen. What's going on? But I knew that she wanted to get up early to make Daddy's breakfast. So she made us, I want to say breakfast burritos. So it's like a flat wrap with some scrambled eggs and some bacon, a little bit of cheese and some sauce. And then you wrap it up and go, It was very good. It was very, very good. Spanish Chick says, just as well you sorted out the car, had no idea how you were going to get to the retreat next weekend. Well, Spanish Chick, that was a discussion that we had. Because I'm going on a sewing retreat next weekend. And a discussion that I had with Tim was, I need the car from Friday to Sunday. And he was just like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I've got to take the car. And he was like, you can't get a lift with someone. I'm like, no, everyone fills their cars. And he's like, oh, it's weekend. What could they fill their car with? And I'm like, sewing machines, fabrics, clothes. And he's like, you're just making a bag. What, they could all fit in one bag? I'm like, we don't know what we're making. We have to bring everything. So, you know, and I'm like, the iron press is coming. The rivet machines. And he was just like, oh, okay. So we were tossing up whether or not he was actually going to drive me up there and drop me off and then pick me up Sunday afternoon. But then he realized he's got to take Abby and Louie to puppy training. So he needed a car through the day on the Saturday. And it was just like, oh, it was a total like, what are we going to do? And then when Mazda were like, well, this car that you're test driving, we're selling it as a demo. If you like this one, we're like, a lot, very much. It was like the one with the nice seats with the button that moves the seat around, like what I've got in my X-Trail, which I love. That was the going joke, is every time we looked at a car, I was just like, which model has the electric seat? And they'd be like, oh, that's only in the top of the line model. So instead of, you know, 28,000 or whatever it was going to be, it's 57,000. You'd just be like, because I have short arms, you guys. Everyone's like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It is. It's a big deal when somebody moves your seat all the time. And it's got like, especially the ones that only have the little button on the left-hand side, my left arm can't reach at all, right? My right, if it's the big bar one that goes across, my right hand can get in under. I've got to have the door open. Get in under. It's like, oh, I can do it. And then you're like trying to roll forward. I literally have to get out of the car, adjust the seat, get in the car, sit down. No, not right. Get out of the car. So it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And also, I like my seat down lower because I sit tall, whereas Tim sits a bit shorter. So so we're constantly changing the seat. Anyway, I really wanted the electric seats like a lot, but I wasn't willing to pay double the car price just to get electric seats. But this particular model, this demo that we're getting, has the electric seats. One thing I'll say, car manufacturers, is what's the deal with no air conditioning vents in the back seat? Seriously, the number of models of cars that don't have an air conditioning vent in the back seat, or those that only have it on their upgrade models. So this is Queensland. You can't, people will be dead in the back seat by the time the air filters over, cools down and drops in the back. I like aircon. My things were my deal breaker was aircon in the back seat, boot size, and there was something else. The cup holders, like, we have been spoiled with the X-Trail. We have been absolutely spoiled. Okay, so in the oh, hey Ruth, welcome to the chat. We are just chatting about my nightmare week this week. So we have been spoiled. So in the X-Trail, like driver's seat here, right? You've got one cup holder in the dash. You flick it open and it sits there, or you can close it and it's just flush with the dash. Then, so you've got one on that side, one on the driver's side. Then you've got the two cup holders in the little center console thing, plus water bottle holders in the doors and all that sort of stuff. And in the back, there's a couple of cup holders as well. Most new cars, they're like, oh, you can get a cup holder here in the middle. And I really like that one. It's a great spot for, anyway, I was just like, ugh. The other thing they had to have was Android Auto. That's what it was. Android Auto, air conditioning in the back seat, and boot space. Oh, and it had to be, you know, a bit off the ground. I didn't even look at anything that was too low to the ground. Friday Ketchup likes the windows with the winders. I like to have full control of being able to open my windows. Sally's was air conditioning. Yep. Darwin says as long as our car can hold a cello or just a full orchestra, then we're happy. Absolutely. You need like lugging space all year round. I only need lugging space for like 3 events a year. Oh my gosh. So much stuff to fit into a car. Spanish Chick says, why do you need air in the back? Abby will be in her own car soon. Oh, you guys, Abby got her learner's permit. I'm so proud. She's had a really big month as well. So she got her learner's permit, and she has got her she had a verbal that she'd passed, but she received a certificate for her Cert 2 in hospitality. So which is a pretty decent little achievement for someone who's still 15 and, you know, at high school. So she's had a pretty big month too. I think it's going to be a couple of years before Abby's in her own car, honestly. So nothing happened in my car, Ruth, but my husband had a car accident and wrote his car off. Now, he was 100% okay. He ended up with like one little bruise, but because all the airbags deployed, it was a bad accident, actually wrote the car off. The airbags saved him, which is great. And the other, he hit another car, and the people in the other car also perfectly fine. but we had like, I think everyone, I may have already said this. We had this bit of like to and fro over the fact that my car is 10 years old. He only got a brand new, this is the second car in 4 years he's written off. So he only got a brand new car 4 years ago. And so I'm just like, it's my turn. It's my turn. You can have my car and I'll have the new one. I don't normally put my foot down like that, so it felt really weird, but I was just like, no, this isn't, it's my turn for a car. And so, yeah, so that's what's happened. So I know it's a very random discussion to have in our crafting area, isn't it? But the thing that I try to let people know, especially because I'm on Clubhouse a bit, and they talk about, well, what do crafters talk about? And I'm like, we talk about everything, because do you know what? We're still humans living in this world. So we may also talk about yarn and stitch markers and how bad scissors should just go in the bin. But we also talk about when our car craps its pants, when you get trapped and locked into your shack. So if you weren't here at the start, you wouldn't have heard. But I was locked in here yesterday and we had to get a locksmith out to be able to get the door open. It was so bad, honestly, so stressful. Crochet Guild Conference. We talk about a Crochet Guild Conference. Absolutely. We've got that coming up. One thing I wanted to talk about as well is the Fiberific retreat that we've got coming up. It's coming up quick. It's the end of next month. So if you're still tossing up whether or not you want to come, message me and let me know. Those of you that have already booked in, you'll be getting your letters shortly or emails shortly with your information for your balance to be paid, and also information about the retreat and things like that. I'm tossing up. So you guys let me know. A lot of you that are coming to the retreat are here in the chat. Would you mind if I sent out a couple of emails? So this email just talking about the balance paid and things like that. And then I'm going to find out more about room allocations and what have you at the end of next week. So would you prefer all in one email or dribbed over a couple of emails over a few weeks? So it's basically over 2 weeks. So what do you think? Like information now and then room allocations and what have you next week? Or just wait until the end of next week and just get it all out together so everything's in one email. Spanish Chick has no balance. That's right, Spanish Chick. Thank you. 5 weeks to go. I'm so excited. We've got some amazing sponsors, and so over sort of about 2 weeks before the retreat, I'll start Instagramming and sharing who some of our sponsors. I won't be sharing what they like what they've donated and things like that, but I'll be sharing what do you call that, who they are and why they're special and why I wanted them to be sponsors. Let me look. Either works. Don't mind a couple of emails. Ruth says, I wish I could come, but Australia is too far. I definitely understand, Ruth. I definitely understand. You said you're from Florida. That's a long way to go, especially right now. Plus, not sure if the lockdown's going. Plus, not sure if the lockdown on going down under is okay. Yeah, I think at the moment, if you want to come into Australia, it's mandatory 2 weeks in quarantine at your own cost. So it's like $2,500 or something per person. Spanish Chick still wants all the emails. Of course, you'll still get all the emails. Absolutely. Yeah, we currently don't have any lockdowns in Australia at the moment. We are very, very lucky, and I'm definitely grateful. I'm not sure about everybody. I'm definitely grateful that at the start, everyone thought Australia was a big sookie baby for closing its borders so fast, and bringing mandatory quarantining in straight away. There was a lot of countries that had a bit of a dig about Australia, like, oh, Australia, where? But I'm actually supremely grateful that they, oh yes, sorry, touch wood, right, yes. I'm supremely grateful that they did that. They had that forethought and did that because I think it really helped here a lot. And so, yes, we've got we're still having the occasional, the occasional border closures every now and again. If a case, because I mean, they do lockdowns in Queensland if there's one unknown source case. So that's how it happens here. So we're kind of like on eggshells a little bit of the time. We can go about our day. We don't really have much in the way of any restrictions. A bit of common sense. There's still social distancing is still expected, but not a lot of people are doing it anymore. There's still hand sanitizer everywhere, so I'm still doing that. I'm not repeating that, Kim. So yeah. Melbourne's extreme lockdown that is being modelled all over the world. Yep. Yeah. That's full on. So one state in Australia, so Melbourne, like Victoria, has had to do a lot more lockdowns than other states. So they've gotten really good at it. Hey, two Arctic Wolves, welcome to the chat. Contact tracing when you go out. Yeah, so when you enter venues and things like that, there's normally like a barcode for you to scan and just say you're here with, your kid and whatever. And then you just sort of tap when you leave kind of thing on your phone. And that's so that if they do have an instance of somebody was there while they were sick, they can contact you and you can just go and get tested. And they're making it very, I don't know what the best way to describe it is. They're serious about it, but yeah, it's definitely low key. Probably low key is the way to describe it. Jimmy Reese on Instagram. You guys need to follow Jimmy Reese on TikTok because it's so funny. It's so funny what he's doing. Is just hilarious. Is just hilarious. Sally says, I'm a bit nervous about coming out, but also excited at the same time. Is that weird? No, that's not weird. It's 100% normal. 100% normal, because for those of you that are coming up to the retreat from interstate, you've also got in the back of your mind, can I get home? Will something happen while we're here and borders are slammed shut? Am I trapped in sunny Queensland of the amazing? So, no, it's totally not weird, and I totally understand it. Hey, Gabby, how you going? Lisa, how are you feeling? Are you the Walking Dead today? Oh, you think she's also talking about social anxiety? Sorry, Sally, I did take it into a COVID path. You're quite right. It is definitely. I definitely notice when I'm in a room with a lot of people. I definitely feel like there are lots of people in here, and if any of you stinkers make me sick, I'm coming after yous. Lisa's dying. It's the flu. The flu's got her. The flu got her. Oh no. The Game Widows keeps asking whose couch I'll be sleeping on. I mean, at a pinch, Game Widows, I would say this couch, not comfy for sleeping on. But I do have a camp stretcher I could put next to this couch. So, yeah. But I'm sure we could, there's a few of you coming from interstate. I think we could farm everybody out to somewhere if you just had to wait it out rather than sticking you into 2-week quarantines in your own states. Lisa's starting to feel human again. She's COVID-free. My nostrils can attest to that. Aren't those tests just not fun? Oh my God. Friday Ketchup is saying that the Gold Coast Supernova is going ahead. I just don't have the urge to go. I don't blame you. I love Supernova, but there's nothing that could make me hit a conference that big. That's insanity. The swab clears the sinuses. The swab clears something, I can tell. Tear ducts, usually. Gabby says, I get surrounded every time I walk into any store because people always seem to assume I work there. Do you have a name badge on or something? I don't know. Natalie says that's why I'm driving in case I need a quick getaway. That's actually an excellent point, Natalie. That's an excellent point. You also don't have to worry about which craft to bring because it's it all can fit in the car. Have I heard anything more about Spendigo? I have not heard a single word. Not a word. We're supposed to... So Spendigo is Bendigo, the Bendigo Sheep and Wool show, which is the biggest wool event in Australia. It was cancelled last year for obvious reasons. And also this year it's going ahead, but they're organising it a little differently just in case it gets cancelled. Now I've got to get through 2 states to get to Bendigo. So, because I have to drive, because I have to take just hit things. All of this that you can't see, everything over there has to get packed into the car. Plus about 500 skeins of yarn that, well, are still sitting on cones and need to become skeins and then can become dyed and then can become pretty. Actually, something I did today, I'll just see if I can reach it. Is I realised that the Mystery Lace Club for November, the 50-50 pure wool and silk, there's 4 of them. So in the acid wash, so which is this sort of grey and denim-y kind of stuff. So I've got some photos, so I'm going to be tossing them up on the website because they're still available. I've been trying to sort out some things. I am behind on the Mystery Lace Club, and there'll be an email coming out this week. I'm so far behind, it feels ridiculous. So there'll be some options in there for people if they decide they want a refund, they can have their refund, or if they're happy to wait just a bit longer before I start getting them out. Just with how sick I got, like there was Christmas and all the Christmas nightmare that happened before, and then I had a plan to catch up and go forward, and then I got sick for a month. And so that just was like, oh, plan? Bye plan, no plans for you. I'm getting better for sure. I still get tired, which is frustrating more than anything else. It's so frustrating. And so I can't do physical stuff for a long amount of time, and with the amount of dyeing that needs to be done, it's a lot of physical. So I'm just like, so there'll be an email coming out where people can let me know what they want to do, or where they, how it's going, and we'll go from there. And then once I've got a clear idea of what people want, I'll keep moving forward. That's my plan. I really hope my plan works. I don't like it when people are upset, honestly, and everyone has been so amazing, like so amazing, but I really feel like I'm pushing my luck. So I'm just like, okay, everybody who's been amazing, because everybody has been amazing. I'm just like, right, yep. Lisa, there's heaps of stuff for stupid, but nothing that looks good for a fun retreat. Haven't looked in the last month because of continued illness, but next week I will again. Spanichick says if you aren't up to dyeing, maybe just call it and refund. Well, that's what I'm thinking of doing, and giving people an option to because I'm 4 behind. So March is the last one. So there's December, January, February, and March. Just December, January, February, March. It's 4 behind. So I want to give people the option to cancel 1 or 2 or all or whatever, and get a refund, like 4 refunds, or just wait and they'll come. They will come. It's just I'm very behind. That's all. So we'll see how it goes. I want to give people the option, and I will dye I will dye yarn. And I've got to get back into dyeing, and I need the push. So yeah, I wish I could come over and help, but I'm a bit yeah, you are. And like I've got local people who are willing to come over and help as well, but it's just because my brain's not clear, and it's making it hard to come up with good colors. And so I've got lots of local help, and they're like, do you want us to come? We'll be there. And everyone's being so like generous and kind. But unless I can get a clear vision of the color that I want to make, then I'm sort of stuck, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, I'm willing to dye, D-Y-E, not D-I-E. You're right, Kim. Correct. Oh no, not yarn bombing. And look, I've got a question. Am I the only yarn crafter out there who hates yarn bombing? I can't deal with it. Like, people are like, oh, come and yarn bomb with me. I'm like, I'd rather stick knitting needles in my eyes. I don't like yarn bombing. I don't, like, I think it looks really cute when you first put it up. It gets rained on once, trashed. People who yarn bomb trees really stress me out because it looks really pretty. But if it's left on there and it gets wet and the tree ends up with mold, it's bad for the trees. And not to mention the yarn wastage. And most people yarn bomb with acrylic. So I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm a bit like, yeah. I'm okay with decorating with yarn for an event and then pulling it down. No problems, no qualms whatsoever. But when you just yarn bomb and leave it there until council decide that, okay, this looks like trash now. Let's have a look here. Let's see what everyone's saying. Spanish Chick says we can all come and dye what we like and be like guest dyers. That would be fun. That would be fun. I don't know if I would want to do it for MLC, but that would totally be fun. Jackie says nope. Game Widow says waste of good yarn. Jackie hates it. Friday Ketchup says if it's yarn bomb for a day, sure, but the weather makes it icky. It really does. Holly says yarn bombing isn't my thing. Holly, you are so diplomatic. Yeah, and Jackie agrees. People usually use acrylic. Absolutely. Kathy says kind of like everything would be brown because you can't get a vision of what you want and how to do it. Everything would be brown. And then brown sprinkles. Lisa says, I'm so lazy. I'm not wasting craft time in yarn bombing. I love the look of the Mulaney Festival when it's on. See, Mulaney Festival, I don't mind that. I think that's fine because it's for an event and then they pull it all down afterwards. So, yeah. What about the lady that knitted herself a fence with twine? That's again different. That has a purpose. It's on her own personal property and it was twine. Like there's 3 different things in there that make it okay. I actually think I've seen that one and it's beautiful. Gabby says, I just can't yarn bomb. It's a waste of yarn. Yeah, Jumpers and Jazz is in Warwick. Yep. Oh yeah, Jumpers and Jazz. There you go. And that's another one. It's an event. They have the yarn for the event and then they remove it. Yeah, Rebecca, it's dumb and a waste of time. Like, this is the thing. Like, I see people who do, like, there's different things, right? There's yarn bombing, which is just, hey, let's go and yarn bomb all the park benches in this area. And then they're left there until they rot, basically, or until they look crap. And then it's just like, let's decorate for a festival by yarn bombing. Again, still not the biggest fan of the yarn bombing, but it's for a particular event and it's all removed and taken away at the end. And that I'm okay with. Also, people who decorate, like there was those massive crochet ball things that they used during the Commonwealth Games. Some people talked about how that was a yarn bombing. I consider that more of an art installation. Maybe I'm getting pernickety. Pernickety. I could be just totally. I created a rant. Possibly. Possibly. The knitted BMW at Knit Feet 29. I don't know what that was. Knit Fest 2019. I don't know. It's a fun discussion rant. No worries. Oh, that's good. Gonna Maleggies. Gonna Maleggies. That is such a cool handle. That's so good. I agree with what everyone has said. It's fine for an event when it's removed at the end, but other than that, nope. Waste of yarn. See? Yep. Agree. There's supposed to be some sort of installation at the CGA conference of Yellow Sunshine. There is. There is. They need to get a bit more information out. I know nothing about it, but they just keep talking about how to bring you yellow yarn. I don't have any yellow. I should probably dye myself something in yellow so I can get involved. My keyboard keeps falling down. Because what it is I've left a space clear in the middle just in case I decide to do something, which I may not. Jackie says, I wish they would do it more artistically and not just random ugly granny squares. Some of it is done quite nicely and some of it just is like, really? Really? Game Weirdo says indoor yarn bombing is okay-ish. There's a lady here who's knitting mice of kindness and putting them in random letterboxes in the area. That's okay. I have no issues with the crochet knitting for kindness where they make something, put a tag on it and leave it. That's meant for someone to pick up and take. That's what it's meant for. It's meant to brighten someone's day. It's not there to be a permanent installation, if that makes sense. I love those make it for different things, like those knit for kindnesses and crochet for kindnesses. I've got a friend who makes the little flowers and just leaves them in little places for people. I love that. I think it's beautiful. Isn't that yellow behind you? Yes, but that's not my stash. That's available for you to purchase upon my website. There is lots of yellow in my online store. There's Cutler and Dandelion. Cutler's a bit more mustardy and Dandelion's like a bright sunny yellow. I would probably dye myself something in Dandelion. And I would probably do it in DK so that it's whatever I make, I can do it quite quickly while I'm there. I do like how they have decorated an old tram in Bendigo. I haven't seen it. I'd have to have a look. Gonna Malegi says, I love that knitting for kindness idea. I want to do that. Google it and have a look. It's just little token things and then you hang a little label on it. And there's lots of different ways to word it. But basically it says like, you found this thing and it's for you. You know, if it will brighten your day, you take it. You know, and you know, that sort of thing. But you definitely need to put the tag on it so that people know they're not just like, oh, I'm just taking this and putting it in my pocket. Oh dear. But yeah, I like it. I like the idea. And the mice of kindness. I think the mice are very cute. Sally's popped in a link for the tram. Thank you. I'm not lost is how it usually starts. Oh, that's right. I'm not lost, but you have found me. Oh, goodness. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to live stream for today, you guys. Maybe a little bit longer. I've got a little job I've got to get done. I stuffed something up and I have to fix it. How did my queen turn out? It's in the naughty corner is how it turned out, Ruth. No, it's not so much in the naughty corner. It's in the, I think since the last time I crocheted on it during a live stream, I've put maybe 5 rows on it. I was definitely, like, I've been very unwell for the last month where even my husband has been concerned. You know you're unwell when your husband starts getting worried, or at least that's the case for me. I was sitting there with the television on, staring at the television with no craft because that was about all I could do. And I would do this, like, and then just doze off and sleep. I was basically sleeping for about 20 hours a day. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't like, I'm the girl, like some of the people here in the chat already know, but I ended up going to the doctors and it wasn't an iron deficiency thing or anything like that, which I thought it was. And it was just a straight out, I had had a virus and ignored it, and my body just went, ignore it, will you? Ignore this. So now I've just really got to keep an eye on my energy levels and rest when I need to rest and go when I can go. And that's what I've been doing. And it's actually been really helping. My energy is lasting longer each day. I'm now getting to the end of the day without the need for a nap. It got to the point where, like, if I didn't have a nap, I was not able to wake up, like, well, stay awake. I would have to go to bed very early, and technically it's a nap, right? And they maintain the tram and they keep it looking nice. That's different. That's not just a straight up yarn bombing. Falcon and Winter Soldier starts tomorrow. Oh, wow. Okay. That's quick. WandaVision only just finished. I thought there'd be a little break in the middle. Spanichick says, at least it's getting cooler now and you'll be able to handle working on it again. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the other thing. It's been summer here. Now, it's been a fairly mild summer for us, but it is definitely summer, and working on such a big blanket was hard as well. Like, you really had to really want to work on it, and I just didn't. Holly says at Comic-Con every year, I always try and find the amigurumi that the geeky hooker leaves around San Diego for people to find. Maybe one a year. Oh, wow. That's amazing, Holly. That's so good. Gonamalegi says, viruses can be really frightening. I'm glad you're doing much better each day. I am. And I'm definitely feeling the improvement now, which is good. I'm still very tired. I wake up tired, which is not fun. Ruth says, I understand mine is in hibernation. Yeah, go us, Ruth, with the hibernating blankets. Who else has hibernating blankets right now? Raise your hands. Spanish Chick says, I'm not sure about mild. I've heard a lot of whinging about the heat and the humidity. Look, the humidity has been insanity. But we had, ready for weather stats with Chantal. We had a lot less days over 35 degrees in Australia, at least in Queensland, than we have done for about the last 10 years. 10 years? 8 years. We are now moving into our next sort of weather system, and this is where I always mix it up. We are moving into an El Nino, is that right? Or are we moving into an El Nino? We're moving from one to the other, which means we're going to get a bit more rain, a bit of cooler weather, and then after that we'll get pounded by the sun and burned to a crisp. But so yeah, welcome to Australia. Jackie says, not a queen, but I haven't worked on my star blanket for a while. Talia has popped her hand up. Daiwen says the sun is gone and it's raining here. Again, this is like the 7th day in a row now. Yeah, same here. That's why I've got a quagmire. Like, Daiwen, the path from the shack to the house is unusable. You have to go round. It's so bad. You're the weather chick. La Nina, sorry. La Nina means more rain. El Nino means heat and death and crispy. Gonna says, I've been very tempted to cast on the Queen. It's so beautiful. It does look overwhelming with all the colours, though. There have been some gorgeous ones where people have done them just in 2 colours, honestly. So I think it's a beautiful pattern. I regret the decision to make mine quite so big. I think maybe make it as like a knee rug. I can't wait. I really want to do that encased border thing she's got. I haven't tried one, and I'm like, hurry up. You should start your own weather channel. It'd be hilarious. Factually, probably not quite on point. Which word do I use again? Which one does it mean? Spanish Chick's right. I did want it to fit on my queen size bed, and I wanted it to hang over the sides, which is why I've made it the way I made it. But at the moment it's about, it's probably about, actually I should lay it on the bed, shouldn't I? I should. I'll lay it on the bed and try and, be inspired. I need a green screen. Dude, I got that. I got all the things, and I've got the good lighting to make the green screen work well with my toe rain. Oh no. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what the toe rain gauge is, when I step out of the shack here, after it's been raining, I can't wear shoes because it's so wet. So I normally leave like my shoes in here, or I'll carry them or whatever. And I'll step out, and the ground is so wet that I measure up the side of my toe to work out where the rain. And someone was like, "Oh, how official is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's about half a toe." And they're like, "Oh yeah, what's that?" And I've measured I got a ruler and measured what half a toe was. It was 7 mils or something. And a friend of ours who does like the proper empties her gauge daily, writes, she got 7 mils. I was just like, yeah, toe gauge vindicated. We can sub all the maps for our various Zoom backgrounds. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I think I'll do 2 colours. My big brother is expecting his first baby, so I'll try a baby size one in 2 colours. That sounds beautiful. Or do you know what another option would be, depending on the yarn you're going to go with, Gonna, is do like a cream base and then like a variegated rainbow to do all the cross weaving with. I think that would look beautiful. Especially for a baby blanket, it would be gorgeous. Toe gauge for the win. Toe gauge for the win. Talia's got the bucket gauge going out the front, but are you emptying the bucket or are you just letting it fill up? And it's just like, we've had a bucket full in 4 days. Ruth, there you go. Ruth's got 2 colours going. Oh, actually, I'd have to check to see if my green screen's still good. It hasn't been used in a long time, and it may have, because I've just thought about what it was made out of, and it may have disintegrated. It's a long way around when you're doing the border. I can imagine. Oh my God, my baby bro is having a baby. I'm stealing that. Consider, like, Ghana Malegis, where are you based? I don't think you guys have got the same brother who's the same baby, I would assume. And maybe the 2 of these blankets in the world could exist. Just saying. I have fun guys out the front. What? What does that mean? Oh, nope, just collecting the good water for the plants that don't get rain. So, I actually have about 6 buckets on my back patio because it needs to be re-roofed and it's lots of rain comes in. So we're constantly like, okay, it's time to empty the patio buckets. Variegated rainbow is perfect for a baby and it'll be fun to see it come along. Thank you for the wonderful ideas. Oh, I'm so glad that that's inspired you. And you're in the southern US. Okay, so Lisa's baby nephew niecey thing is probably in Australia. So different babies, different sides of the world, probably different yarns. I think it's going to be okay. Abby walks in the yard going, lots of shrooms today. And I'm like, who are you to say shrooms? You've been hanging out with your nana. The Simple Queen is baby size. Oh, Ruth, thank you for that information. I was actually beginning to wonder which one you would use. So that's a Brizzy baby. So, Lisa, you need something a bit lighter weight than like a thick acrylic baby blanket, I think. So, nephew niecey thing. Yeah, what? Is there a plural word for the boy or the girl? My brain, I told you guys, my brain doesn't give me words at the moment. I'll be in like doing like a full-on call with like YouTube professional like educators and my brain won't give me the word I want. I'm like, the metric that measures this. And they're like, CTR. And you're like, yeah, that's it. Awesome. And you just sound like you don't know what you're talking about. No, not child. I want it specifically for like your brother's child. Well, I suppose your brother's new child. That could. Okay. What would work then? I'm at a loss. What suggestions, chat, have we got for Lisa, who probably doesn't want a worsted weight acrylic for a Queensland baby that comes in a variegated cotton? That's the catch. That's in a DK. Are there any Spotlight DK yarns that come in a variegated cotton in a DK? That's a good question. I don't know. The nephew niecey thing works. We don't know the gender yet. That's why Rainbow's so good. Yeah. Hobby, do they do a DK variegated? I know they do a 4-ply, but it's quite thin for a 4-ply. It's definitely worth a look because you want your cream and your your cream and your rainbow to be the same weight yarn. Probably the same brand would be helpful. A Karen cotton cake. Ruth, how many grams or ounces have you needed to have for your baby size? Because I'm just thinking Karen cakes in Australia are really expensive, and if you need more than like 5, and then what if you use the Karen cotton cake? What what solid, like what cream would you use? Can you buy the Karen cotton just as the cream, or we need to then try and find a similar size, similar twist, because you don't want it to be too different, otherwise they'll wash differently and it'll go bleh. Talia's researching. Go Talia, you've got this. My computer's already busy doing other things, live streaming, running cameras, dealing with me. I don't like to risk it, making it do other things. He goes, oh, it's too much. There's a Yarns for All. Oh, that Elise cotton's nice. But hang on. Oh, I don't want to open. Yeah, but I'll let you guys look. You'd want a self-striping rather than a variegated. Yeah, I think you would need a long color repeat would be the nicest. I think if you can get it, that's the catch. That's going to be your catch, especially in cotton. In the acrylic and in the wool, easy to get, but in cotton it's a lot harder to get. Holly says Karen cakes have 485 meters for 250 grams, and they do have solids. Gonna says I'm going to buy a boatload of undyed cotton yarn and dye it myself like yarn tie-dye. I hope I can finish this blanket in 6 months. That's actually a reasonable, based on how long it's taken me to do my queen, that's a reasonable length of time for a baby blanket. Darwin says I have a 4-ply cotton, but it's quite thick and very stiff. For the life of me, I can't think of the name, and I don't think it had a variegated. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, we want the rainbows in a long color repeat, or a pretty short repeat that's constant. For crochet, I prefer a long color repeat. I just think that it sounds better. Lots of September babies. Oh, wow, look at this. Wouldn't it be weird? All right, okay. Conspiracy time. Wouldn't it be weird if these two babies were born on the same day, opposite sides of the world, given the same blanket by their aunts on their dad's side? Spooky. This is water, by the way. Geez, people, I needed a cot size one in a fortnight. Well, like, no, Gonna's gonna dye the cotton first. Like, we all know that takes some time to dye cotton, Kim, right? You've seen how long it takes me to dye cotton, haven't you? Oh yeah, Flinders. Flinders is alright. I don't know. That would be so cool. Wouldn't that be weird? That would be so good. Rebel Ripple by Polly Plum. Ruth says I'm using Kobu yarn. So far, I used 600 gram skeins. Are we counting the time zones? Yeah, you got to count the time. They're going to have the same birth date on their birth certificate. I know it's going to be, the American one's going to be a bit backwards, but the same birth date. So, Gonamalegi says it's so soft. Is that the cotton that you're going to be doing? Yeah, I love cotton blankets. Like, if you've been around here a while, you guys know how much I love cotton. For somebody who doesn't dye cotton, that's kind of funny. But I love cotton, and I love working with cotton, and I love wearing it, and I love cotton blankets. Yeah, we definitely need something with a multicolor in there. Rebel Ripple by Polly Plum for Lisa. We'll have to keep an eye on the dates. Yeah, because that would just be fun. Like, there's nothing, particular about it. It'd just be fun. Like, when you thought you lint rolled your shirt and then you realised maybe you didn't? I just spotted it in my monitor here. I'm like, oh, crumbs. Goodness me. Okay, well, we've managed to talk something crafty, so thank you for saving the day, everybody, and pulling in the craft chat. This, like, okay, for those of you that don't know who we are, get through the locked in the shed story, the buying a car story, like, what kind of channel is this? And they click away, and it's only for the people that stick around, that actually get to hear anything about craft. Oh gosh. God, it's going to say, I'll comment in a live or a video when it's born. Absolutely. Or some of you guys, like, I don't recognize your human names. You've got your handles. Over on Facebook, we have the Fiberific Fun Zone, which is where a lot of us go and chat after the lives are over, and you can post photos and we all encourage each other. So if you want to go and join into the Fiberific Fun Zone, it's just a group on Facebook. Then, excuse me, and then we can, you know, get updates on your blankets and let us know how it's going, and we can be all excited. Spanish Chicks popped a link in here, so we can help you to, you know, keep geared up to get it done in your 6-month time frames that you've got. Lisa says that's really pretty, but I hate doing bubble stitch. We can't tell. What can't you tell? I don't know. Then Sally's throwing up the group as well. Lots of groups going in. I hope that second group's my group, Sally. Just saying. So I'm not going to get a chance to do it because I'm starting to flag now, you guys. Gordon Malegi says, it's my first time watching you and I had a blast. I love the crafting community. I'll join your Facebook group. Awesome. A lot of these guys are there. So a lot of these guys here in this chat that are chatting with you now, they're over there. So if you're like, say you've got a real human name, right? And then you're like, oh, hi guys. My handle is such and such, so that they can get a concept of who you are. Because unless your name's Gonna Malegis, which for some reason in my brain I'm thinking no, or your parents have got interesting senses of humor. It is my group. Thanks, Sally. Now I'm invested. I'd love to know when they're both. Yeah, I know. It's a total thing now, isn't it, Gabby? I'm like, wow, they have. We need to know all of this information. Oh, you've got a human name. Hi, Haley. Oh, all right. We'll keep an eye out for you over in the group. But yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes you just need like you know, me and my queen. What happens is someone mentions the queen, it guilts me. I pull it out, I double check it's all still good. I'll do a row and then I'll put it back away again. So sometimes having that support of people around you going, hey, how's that blanket going? And you're like, fine, it's good. I'm not stabbing it. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I will post the amount for the simple queen on the group page after I join. Oh, guys, there's a couple of questions in there. Make sure you answer the questions. They pop up a little later. It's just so we don't get those sunglass sellers, and we got bombarded with people who wanted to sell sunglasses or wigs. It was so weird. So just make sure you answer the questions and we'll let you into the group. I have an earth name. I like that, Rebecca. It's an earth name. Apparently I can't change my YouTube name from Spanichick. I'm sure you can. I will run you through how to do it. Oh, wait. Hang on a second. This is your I can change mine because I have a brand account, so I can change my YouTube name that way. I will have a think about it. They are Ray-Bans. Yes, they're Ray-Bans. Chantel, were you thinking a queen in 2 colors cotton DK? Yes, I was. So the queen, the simple, hang on a second, which one was it? I'm just digging through for Ruth's comments. Ruth's comments. Because Ruth popped in. It was a simple queen. Is Ruth, I'm just going to scroll back. Hang on a second. So the simple queen is a cot size. Is that right? Because the queen comes in various shapes and difficulty levels. So if it's your first go, I would go with the queen. I will have a look into it and double check the name changing thing. There's YouTube videos. Primal Video has a YouTube video on how to go in and change your YouTube name. So if you Google that, there's a YouTube video on how to do it. That's all I was going to do, is go and check it. And you should be able to change not so much your YouTube name, but what appears in the chat. So you won't be able to change your YouTube account name sort of thing, but you can change what appears. So here, if I type into the chat, right, apparently I can't spell. It says Chantel Hills Fiberific, but my YouTube channel name is just Fiberific. So you can have them as different. So I have a Kim account and a Spanish account, which are linked to each other. So did you make a brand account? Because if you've got a brand account, there's a specific way you have to do it. So, yeah, because I had to do the brand account way. But there's also a way to do it if you're not a brand account. Because it is painful just starting a new one, honestly. Everyone's like, oh, just start a new one with a new name. No, because then YouTube serve you all the wrong videos. And you're like, no, I want the yarn crafting videos. I joined the group. Woohoo, now I have a reason to use Facebook. Well, I hope that the group is fun enough to make you stay and enjoy Facebook for all its benefits. Oh gosh. I changed the Kim one, but the other one says actually, yeah, it said that about mine as well. I was able to find another way around. I've got a workaround for a brand account. And cake decorating videos. I'm addicted. You guys all follow Cakes by Chopper, right? Because he's our mate. And he does the best pop culture cakes. And you can go and download, like, apparently it's a bit of a pain in the bottom, at least for now, to download he actually has it so you can download the templates that he uses to cut out so you can try and make his cakes at home. So yeah, Cakes by Chopper. He's my mate. Wood turning videos. Oh man, I watch Scott Snyder because he makes spindles over on Twitch, and he has been making pens, which is a bit different. But watching it's so chilling and relaxing, and just Tim will come out every now and again. I'll have it on the TV, and he's like, "Wow, I don't know which one's worse, wood turning or Walker Texas Ranger." Because while I was sick, I couldn't focus on any of my normal shows, so I just would watch original Chuck Norris Walker Texas Ranger, and I kind of started watching it by accident because I wanted to watch the new one with the supernatural dude, but when it started, the storyline didn't feel like, I'm like, have they just called it the same thing and it's totally different? I don't remember Walker having kids or being married or anything, so I thought, oh well, Stan's got it, I'll go and rewatch it. And the answer is no, they have made it differently because apparently, I don't know why, but what's socially acceptable now is for cops not to kick and beat the crap out of the bad guys or the perceived bad guys until they're actually charged. So no, it's very different. It's a very different series. So I kind of like watching Chuck Norris just kick the crap out of people when I was feeling unwell. So, I mean, I don't know what that says about me. I don't know. I've been addicted to watch Dangerously Funny and his run through of Stardew Valley games. I love Stardew Valley. It's a fun game. They'd be addictive. Yeah, they're addictive because it's one of those things. They start with a chunk of wood, and then by doing some wizardry and poking, they end up with a spindle that you can make yarn with. I may have possibly ordered a couple more spindles. Yeah, that's basically it's. Have you tried changing your nickname on your Google account? I'm not sure. I'll chat with you later about it, Kim. We'll see. Oh, the corner glass blowing. There's this glass blowing videos that come up in my Facebook. And seriously, these guys have got no shoes on, nothing. They're just blowing glass. And it's just like, if that glass touches you, you're gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But somehow they don't get hurt. and watching those just amuses me. It's no end. Also street food videos, you know, when they make the street food, I like them too. And oh, and also those videos that are just machinery doing its job. You know, like this could be just because my brain wasn't working, but I was getting seriously sucked into, like, you know, like factories that bake cakes where it's got the big vat of someone mixes all the things. Leanne managed to jump in. Hello, Leanne. She's out on a boat, but mostly fishing and eating. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, thanks for jumping in, Leanne. But yeah, it's the ones where, like, the, you know, and then it'll tip into the big thing and it'll be poured into the pans and then run through the little leveler and then into the little oven and then comes back out and gets sprayed with the, anyway, I like watching those. And then they go through the little packaging machines and then a sticker. Anyway, I may be more invested in those than normal. I don't know. I think I'm done today. I think it's time for me to go and have a lay down. I've been watching the Sewing Bee while sick. Oh, rewatching the Sewing Bee. Yep. I'm loving the sound effects. Yeah, I like making sound effects. Oh dear. All right. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. It's been such a good time. And if you want to continue the conversation, jump over into the Facebook group. Keep an eye out on my Instagram page at Fiberific on Instagram. I am getting there. We are getting our prize packs sorted. Hello, just random knitting needles. We are getting our prize packs sorted, so it is happening. So you can keep an eye out for the bag that I made. There's another bag that's nearly done now, and it's going to have, you know, your choice of a yarn. That blue's gotten dangly. I have to have a look at it. And some stitch markers, and then postage as well as included. So it's open to anyone in the world. So if you don't follow me over on Instagram, you can't win it. You have to follow on Instagram to be in for a chance. In saying that, guys, this is something that you have to remember is I am not a sewer. So if you're like, the seams, then you just be grateful they're still holding, okay? Because I am. All right. On that note, they are rhythmic and meditative. They are rhythmic and meditative. They really are. They really are. You're loving the side effects. So yeah, make sure you follow over on Instagram. That's coming. It should have really been out by now, but again, the whole being sick for a month thing kind of trashed everything. But yeah, I'm slowly coming back to life. Side effects or sound effects, like either, really. They both work. It's been so fun hanging out with you guys today. Leanne's like, it'll be treasured. I know, because I'm going to win it. And we've got a spotty one if there's a choice. So there's a YouTube video. You can find it where we chose all the fabrics and the zips and all the stuff. So if you've got time one day, you can go back and rewatch that one to see what there is going to be. There's a fight in the chat because Lisa's winning it, not Lee. Like, it'd be funny if neither of you... No, it wouldn't be funny. That'd be mean. Don't say that. I thought that's not... No, it is definitely water. I'm just water. I'm trying to be good. You get better faster if you just drink water, right? She's going to catch the replay when she's back on the land. I hope you have a good time with your family, Anne. I will see you all next time, next Thursday. We're slowly pushing back out to the 2 hours of live streams as I feel better and better. I like the 2 hours, and we'll see how that goes. But it's been really great meeting some new friends and chatting with some old friends as well. And I will catch you all next week. Bye.